about the murder? I still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? I haven't the foggiest idea. Yeah, go on, sigh. I'm pouring myself some tea. Except for you, viewers, don't sigh. Don't sigh! So there never was gonna be a launch that day. Not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew? Very interesting. I imagine he must have. Surely he wouldn't notice, Surely he wouldn't notice when you went to board the rocket. He wouldn't notice what? It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. It's weird where this dialogue is going. But I guess that's about how it goes. When you're worth less than space debris. I don't get it. Is he going to be alright, Daddy? His expression looks as dark as a black hole. Well, that's just how he is. Yeah, that was a weird dialogue here. The murder! Or the murderer! Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murderer? Not really. I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark after all. Yeah, I guess that was a little too much to hope for. Hey, I heard something from the police, though. They said they never did find a 10 caliber gun down in the trash chute. Damn, so many suspects, really. Like I think both, when I say that Athena might have been, had something to do with all of that. It's just a hunch because, especially since all of that elephant thing there, and with all, with her being like stuck to us all this time, I think there's something to it. There's something to all of that. And it's going to be the twist. But the most suspicious person out of all of them might be Aura herself. Because I think robots are gonna be involved, and she's the one that works on robots. I think robots are involved. Just as I thought, the culprit must have carried it away with them when they escaped. So was the person you saw holding a gun, Mr. Starbuck? I couldn't tell, really. But it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if the person was male or female, tall or short? I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. When the culprit opened the door and some light came in, I should have been able to see. The door. Ah, yes. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. They, more than one people? It's more than one person? Yeah, I know that they mean that they don't want to specify the sex or gender, which I think it's a stupid way to actually use that. Just Just say he or she. You're not gonna go wrong either way. Well, at least if you're gonna go wrong, it's a 50-50. If it's that thing, it's gonna be the other. The door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah, except right now, the door leads to the Space Museum. You mean the Launchpad and the Space Museum are switched right now? Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court. Huh. So, if I want to go to the Space Museum, you can go... from here, huh? So they're, recreating the conditions, huh? I'd like to see what's beyond that door now. I mean, we've been there. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us? Sure, just let me have my print scanned here. Oh, yep, that's number 2. Switching the launch pads. Do the launch pads get switched back and forth a lot? I'm gonna assume no. Well, back when the Space Museum was Launchpad 2, they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Right. Because, quite frankly, the Space Center needs the money. I hear you. Times sure are tough. Daddy, let's go check out what's beyond that door. I don't think you're gonna be able to fund a fucking space mission with goddamn museum toys and trinkets. That's for sure. Daddy, let's go check out what's beyond that door. Sure, let's go. Hey, why don't I come along? I can show you around. Alright. Oh, we're immediately gonna get into investigation. Which is interesting. Is this gonna be involved? That looked like some sort of a leaf, like a dried out leaf. Is it gonna be involved with this murder here? Which is strange. I don't think there's a lot of vegetations, or at least trees, around Space Center. Well, when I say vegetation, I meant a tree, like a forest, like something that would have a leaf the size of that thing, because that's a big ass leaf. So this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh? Yep, but this one doesn't require fingerprint verification. Why? You just hit the button and open this sesame? So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either. That's right, Trucy. Just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their prints. I'm gonna assume that they didn't bring that up because they didn't want us as players to be confused with the fact that you can open the door from the other side. At least in this trial. It might be important. Well, I guess we're still. I guess it is the same trial. It is the same case. It is the same case that we're trying to investigate, which is, you know, finding out who killed Clay. But I don't think the game wants to overwhelm us with a lot of info here. So I guess that's that. That's right, Trucy. Just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their prints. when they escaped back out of the Space Museum corridor into boarding lounge 2. Launchpad 1 door lock updated in the court record. The biometric door lock print authentication isn't required from the launchpad side. Alrighty, viewers. This is the start of a new recording session, viewers. It's been more than a week since the last one. Yeah, I've been busy with this past month. Like, I really didn't have a lot of time to play video games. This might actually change in the upcoming, well, at least upcoming few days. I don't know if I was about to say the upcoming few weeks, but I'm not really sure about that. Anywho, yeah, we were left here to investigate this area. Well, this is the parent, of course. But we're gonna need to notice that dried out leaf. Nothing else? Guess not. Huh? I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes? Makes sense. There are lots of trees around the Space Center. Maybe in the woods, but not in the immediate surrounding area. She is right. It's a modern state-of-the-art building. But it is surrounded by trees. But I don't know. If they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes... clicked at the top right. Wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on. Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor. They came in that way? Secret hatch. Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know. Well, I don't see anything else that jumps out at me. And I imagine this corridor is built exactly like the Launchpad number 1 corridor. Well, I don't think we actually got anything interesting from this. We didn't get anything new here to inspect, right? I did show him this, right? Yeah, that's it pretty much. I don't think we're gonna get anything else from him. We might have to get to the entrance. Maybe to try and find out maybe the origin of that leaf, even though these are palm trees. That leaf definitely didn't look like it was from a palm tree. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center entrance. That's Cosmos Kramer again. Curse the wretch who soiled my good name. Reverse course and full speed away. Director Cosmos, wait. Too late again. I'll handle this, Daddy. Take that! What the? Did you just stab him with your ninja star or something? When the hell did you get a ninja star? Gah! The mobility system has been compromised. Trucy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires? A knife? Are you allowed to get into the Space Center, you know, with weapons? And the streak continues. Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what tricks she's been practicing. Yeah, the worst dad ever. My dear old battleship, we fought many a skirmish together. It has been an honor. Daddy is going to blow that thing up. Blow the scooter? Nah, I bet all that button will do is make it go high wire again. Very well. I surrender. There was a button? Where's the button? Is this it? I don't know. Very well. Maybe that's a trope. I think this character is some sort of a trope. Because he looks like a commander of, you know, of a battleship. Like a space battleship. And these were definitely, like, popular in Japan. The genre, at the very least. So, I guess all of these were, I don't know. Were tropes. And references to these kind of animes, cartoons, mangas, whatever. Very well, I surrender. As a prisoner of war, expect to be treated honorably. Prisoner of wars do not get treated honorably, my man. That's a myth. That's a myth! Alright, first thing first, as per usual. Let's make him, give him everything, so he can check it out. Excuse me, but about this piece of evidence, let me ask you a question. What will the object contribute to the future of mankind? What? Not much, I guess. Seems like this is like a repeated dialogue. Then how important could it be? Quite unlike the great historical figure, Yuri Cosmos Kramer. If he's any more self-absorbed, he'll turn into his very own black hole. Yeah, we definitely check that out. Yeah, I'm gonna bore you viewers by making sure that he actually checked everything. Now this one is new, actually. Mankind's crowning achievement, the Hat 1 mission, will be in textbooks across the land. Wow. That historic, huh? What did it do, other than, you know, going up in space? Because nowadays, that's not a... Well, I'm not gonna say it's not an achievement. It's still an achievement, but nothing mind-blowing. That's for sure, because if you're gonna go, you know, up in space, I mean, you're not the first guy that did that. My achievements are grand enough to rival the very birth of space itself. Wow. Yeah, this guy is gonna turn into a black hole. All this self-absorbent. My life will be a legend that will be told millions of years into the future. You may proceed to admire and praise me now. Huh. You certainly are an amazing piece of work. Well, we got all of that from this capsule, huh? Oh. Just got that again from the pamphlet. Maybe I should share this with you, viewers. For those who are maybe interested in, you know, computer hardware. Yeah, this is really bad. I actually managed to find a 1TB SSD, a non-brand 1TB SSD that I got from China for $25. That includes the shipping and the tax rate. $25, viewers, which is like really surprising. That's really cheap. Like 1TB definitely costs much more than that. So I actually bought it, and I got it today. I did try to plug it into my recording machine just to see if it's actually working, and it does. Not only that, I actually did manage to do some, like, you know, some read and write benchmark, which, you know, something that you can actually do for your hard drives and whatnot. And it's definitely faster than a hard drive, and much cheaper than any SSDs. I do have a cheap, like, I do have another cheap SSD, but that cheap SSD is actually branded. It's Western Digital, and by cheap, I mean cheap in comparison to the named well-known brands out there. But it's definitely not as cheap as that Chinese non-brand, and it's that one is actually a little bit faster than it. Like it has reads. It had reads of 180 compared to the non-brand, which had 140, around that number, which is, you know, but I would definitely take that, especially if it's like if I actually get 2 hard drives, I can run it via RAID 0 and just double the speed, of both the SSDs, which is definitely really interesting to do. I might actually just get 4 of them, and I do a RAID 1.0, which definitely a RAID 1.0 configuration requires 4 drives. Yeah, and you do it. Have to do it in a certain setting. But yeah, that's enough of computer hardware talk. But yeah, I'm into computers, by the way, viewers. I've been so since since I was a kid. First PC that I actually built was when I was 16. I was 16. More than 20 years ago. Holy hell. God damn. Yeah, it feels old, man. I feel like this guy. Is old and not self-absorbent, though. I'm not self-absorbent. Switching the launch pads. Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with. Please. I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. Isn't that bullshit, though, viewers? I don't want to say it because, you know, I don't want to say it because it's gonna hurt me. I mean, he is he is whatchamacallit. He is a witness, so I guess that makes sense. If he's actually like a suspect, then that's kind of bullshit. For a witness, yeah, I guess, you know, pleading the fifth, I guess it's fair. But I will say, my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. Was that a lie? I really don't know. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner. Oh shit, the Magatama. The Magatama again. There's 3 locks, huh? No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. It looks like I'll have to undo the psyche-locks if I want to get to the bottom of this. Do we have the opportunity to unlock these these locks at the moment? I don't know. Let's try that. Let's try that. Behind the switching of the launch pads. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the two launch pads. I refuse. You can't make me. I can hold out longer than anyone. I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now, let's see where to start. This is how you explained your motive for switching the launch pads. You did it to fool the bomber, to prevent the bombing, to save the astronauts. He did say that to save his men, to fool the bomber, to prevent the bombing. I think he actually did it to save Solomon. Thanks to you switching the launch pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. They didn't escape injury, they escaped death. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket, far away from the actual explosion. Huh. My astronauts were raring to go out on an authentic adventure in space. How do you propose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing? I agree you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured out the instant they stepped into the Space Museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he's been drugged with his medication. But without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off. I'm gonna assume it's Clay, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Don't worry, I have my eye on this chick, by the way, viewers. Don't worry. I still suspect that she has something to do with all of that. Do they look alike? I mean, they have the same eye color, but that's about it. Maybe they're brother and sister, but that doesn't make sense. But I'm gonna assume it's Clay. You must have gotten Mr. Charon to help you. Ah! You stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then, with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Someone please help this poor prisoner for... How is he able to spin around like that? Not to mention that the tire shouldn't be working. If you really wanted to save the astronauts' lives, shouldn't you have just called off the launch? If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone to all that trouble? I guess he must have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know to switch, how did you know? What? But how did you know to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incident? He already knew about it, the bombs. Well, that's because I was warned in advance, yeah. That's the only thing that makes sense, pretty much, since he said that he actually tried to save them. And I think he is sincere. He was sincere when he said that. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure my astronauts' safety. But it was just a warning. It could even have been a prank. Why did you believe in it so completely? Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days. Mediums? You went to Maya? Oh, I didn't realize channeling was back in vague. Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone. How can we prove that, though? Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see. A mobile phone? AKA a regular old telephone. That's a mobile phone. It's been a while. Planning another launch? I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. The bomber said it's been a while. And that was enough to make you take the threat seriously? Perhaps Director Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before? I mean, shouldn't you know that, though, Phoenix? Like, you live near the Space Center. That's an event that everyone should know about. Like, if a Space Center, or any place that I know, it's actually in my town, in my city, that actually was bombed or something, I would definitely remember that event vividly as well, but maybe the culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in this incident. I mean, they called it a miracle, so I'm gonna assume that the bombs were inside the rocket as well. The Hat One Miracle. That epic story of survival. People across the nation know it now as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by our current killer, wasn't it? Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the caller said it's been a while, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real and it wasn't a prank. Gah! Didn't anyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serviceman? I'm not gonna go easy on you, old man. These locks are rusty. Yes, the Hat One Miracle was really a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the flight. In the flight? In the fight! Ah, sorry. Well, I need glasses, I guess. I need glasses, I guess. In the fight? Oh, I thought someone actually died there. It's probably, like, I remember there was a picture that had all of the crew member in. And I think there was someone missing that we haven't seen yet. Oh, I'm gonna assume that that person is actually dead. I think that it was that chick that had the maroon hair. It's not Aura, though. It's not Aura. Aura has like a purple hair. A bluish purple hair. But there was another one that had like a maroon hair. So I guess that's her. Sabotage, murder. So this is the ugly truth behind the Hat One Miracle. I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught, and that the case was closed. Huh? Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago? This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit. It was definitely Simon. Take that! Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought that he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, you got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Okay. Shouldn't this guy go and say that he got a threatening call and and Blackwell has nothing to do with it? I'm gonna do my boy Blackwell like that? That's wrong. Realizing that you were shaken, it meant that the true culprit's been running free all this time. How do you cope seeing straight through me? Unlock successful. Alright. That was easy. Switching the launch pads. The reason why Director Cosmos won't talk about why he switched the launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Hat 1 miracle. The sabotage and murder that happened at the Space Center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pads. What? We're gonna go back to the past? To play shitty games that sucked ass? We'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. Come on, have a nice day. Are you gonna you're gonna add internet culture references as well to TV culture as well into your goddamn playthroughs? Ass! We'll have to start with the story of the horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. Yeah, pop culture and internet culture. Pop culture and internet culture. 7 years ago. You mean the so-called Hat 1 miracle? The launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person and their evil scheme. So Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. Huh? Does anyone know of that? But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind that exciting story of space heroism. All that, in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. I mean, you allowed a goddamn teenager to get into your Space Center with knives disclosed. Probably inside her magic panties. All personal effects... Is that personal? As all personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints. Yeah, I beg to differ. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit. But it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy. A spy? You mean somebody who infiltrates a foreign country? God damn, it's China. It's China. Or is a Chinese, it's a Chinese spy. Or is a Chinese spy. No. No. Juniper is a Chinese spy? She doesn't look Chinese, though. Carries out dangerous missions and always gets the girl? Ooh. Definitely, Juniper is trying to get yet another girl. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Athena. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Someone's watching way too many late-night movies. She watches R-rated movies and have knives? How the hell is she not addicted to heroin or something? How the hell is she not a hooker and a hooker that's addicted to heroin? She managed to do all of that. Well, I guess if we're talking about the blowing up a rocket and stealing research material, it's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. The spy. Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space R&D race. Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got a call before the launch warning us of sabotage. The same MO as this time. Yes, and here I thought the perpetrator had been caught. It looks like I was wrong. I mean, was Simon even charged for being a traitor to the country? I don't think he ever got that charge at all. He never charged. He never got that charge. Is that how English works? He never got that charge? Nobody charged him. Yes, and here I thought the perpetrator had been caught, but it looks like I was wrong. Prosecutor Blackwell seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think? More like a samurai, I guess. Aren't ninjas and spies basically the same thing? I guess. But he's not even a ninja. But there's a good reason why... there's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. Ah, yes. Big ol' Big Brother. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy. Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation. They did indeed. And then, to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up the story. How? Oh, the movie? Ah, yes. Yeah, that's it. It sounds like a miracle, right? Well, this game universe is actually based on America, after all. And that was the Hat 1 miracle, wasn't it? But then, 7 years later, the same MO. Advance warning of sabotage. That must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads.